Hello. I rarely do this. I rarely do a let's look through the year, the best in gear. We're not doing that. We're not looking at the best in gear of the year. We're doing that, plus also just videos to me that stuck, were important, and so on. I uploaded over 270 videos this year. That is not the 1 minute thing, that is actual, real, big videos, which is pretty crazy. It makes me think I work a little bit too much. Lately, I've been thinking, is it the same old grind? Go in the studio, unbox a thing, let it sit there for a while, you test it off camera, then you build an opinion, find the pros, find the cons, make a video about it, nobody clicks on the video. And it feels at the end of the year like, well, you're just doing the same old thing, and then Christmas comes, and then New Year's comes. But now that I looked through 270 videos, you realize what a year it's been. Crazy. So we'll go through some of the most, not memorable, but just standout things, gut reaction when I looked at the video and the title was like, whoa, we did this. Or what a cool piece of gear. There were great pedals. There were great guitars, but some of the stuff just stuck with me. And what an eventful year it has been. Actual events. So we're going to go and look at some stuff. I made notes. Every video that I'm mentioning is linked in the description below. If it's a product and I could find it, it is linked to Thomann below. Obviously, some of those products are also at Sweetwater or Anderton's. Go and check those out. And best would be to actually click on the video itself and then use the links under that video. Those links help me. Otherwise, something like this makes no money, which is fine. Still fun. We have very, very early last year on January 1st, the Ibanez Pentatone came out. That is a pretty massive pedal. That's got a preamp. It's heavy as shit if you want it to be. It's got a full 5-band EQ. Generally speaking, that's a good pedal. And that pedal now clocks in at 189, I think. If you got space on your pedal board, that's a steal. If those sounds are something you like, I think you can get killer rhythms out of it, killer leads. With a graphic EQ, you always can. When that time approaches, we're headed to their home. Sleep through that. In general, I bitched about some prices throughout the year, and now looking at the products, a lot of prices went down. So if I notice that, I'm going to point that out, especially on some Revv gear, which was borderline a little bit too expensive, but now it's like, oh, okay, I'm cool with that. So next one that came out, everyone knows about it. There were a billion videos. Things happened throughout the year with it. IK Multimedia Tone X. Now, I had a rant in the video about profiling and what I think about it. Some people agreed, some people didn't agree. Fact is, the Tone X brings profiling to a whole different price range with software and a very good, simple pedal. The Quad Cortex and Kempers of the world, they're all up there in the over $1,000. Tone X at $400-500, including the whole software, and you can do your own profiling and everything with it. I think because of the price and the sound quality, it's revolutionary. Now, Kemper had about a year to respond, and they did, and they did their own pedal. I'm not going to look at it because I don't, A, work with Kemper, B, wouldn't work with Kemper. I just don't like the attitude of the company, because they literally go around and say, oh, we want to profile all your amps. And then the company, the brand says, well, that's fine. And, oh, and we want your approval. We want your stamp of approval to say, these sound exactly like the amps we built. That's fine. And the company says, so what's the deal you're offering? What's the collaboration? And then Kemper says, none. We just do it. And you get shit for it. That's not respecting the industry. Okay, so for me, Kemper isn't, my aversion to Kemper isn't about sound. I'm sure it sounds good. It's about the attitude of the people behind it. And IK doesn't have that attitude. They work with many people in the industry fairly. So, Tone X, killer. And then it happened. It now really seems, and it feels like a distant memory, a very distant memory. I took 10 YouTubers on a remote island in the Philippines, and what a trip it was. Holy fuck balls. The friendships that were strengthened on that island, the silliness we did, getting lost in Cebu on the first night. So many crazy memories. Now we have a series of, I think, 15 to 18 vlogs or something like this. They're in the playlist. And if you just want to have some fun with some of the channels that you like, watch them. Primarily those vlogs are for us. They are a travel memory. And they're silly. Antonio did such a good job in telling little stories, and just at the end of the vlogs, when we say goodbye and he puts all of our names in there. Tonio did the editing on all of them. Thank you, Tonio. I tear up because it was a very special thing. It was a silly thing. Thank you to all the companies making it possible. Thank you to Flora and Martin from Floral Island. It just was very special and stupid, and nobody thought we could do it. We did it. Absolutely amazing, and I hope we have many more adventures with the whole gang, in Carlos and Ryan and Andy, Colin, Tom James, now I'm forgetting people, of course. Jake, obviously Perfecto. I mean, without Perfecto, this wouldn't have happened. Blah, blah, blah. You've heard it all. Watch some of the vlogs and the videos that came out of it. I think it's good stuff. We had fun, and I hope that comes through. Next, something that stuck out, Ibanez made a really good guitar with 27 frets. Are the 27 frets relevant? I really don't think so. I think it's a good guitar despite it having 27 frets. It's the RGA something 622. The white one apparently isn't available anymore, but there's a black one, and bang for the buck, that's a great modern guitar. So check that out. I think for me that's something that stuck. I don't have it. It had to go back, but it's a good instrument. Back to the island. I released Stratocastaway. I'm not in it. One person's in it, well, two people are in it. Ryan and Andy, and Ryan did such a phenomenal overacting job. It's amazing. And I had fun running around this island, doing this Robinson Crusoe, finds a Strat and tries to set up the intonation story. And I just wanted to show companies and you guys what we can do with some good camera equipment and some people dedicated to stupid guitar content. And that is way over the top stupid guitar content, but I'm very proud of what we did there. Stratocastaway for me is one of the highlights of doing this job. Didn't get any clicks, but that's fine. It's just, it's going all the way to make a stupid video and make it look fantastic in a crazy location, and you'd be hard pressed to find guitar content like that anywhere else. Back to gear. Synergy did the 6505. I'm not the biggest 6505 guy, or PV or 51 blah blah Eddie. That module just is good. It's got kick-ass sounds, and if you're into Synergy, I think that's one of the modules you should own. Now, Universal Audio released way too many pedals this year. I think marketing-wise, they completely dropped the ball by not being able to service each pedal individually, and by, 14 pedals? Imagine the marketing budget you need. 14 pedals throughout the year, and then you need to get to the magazines, you need to do email marketing, you need to get to a bunch of channels, and if you hire all the channels you want to hire to do 14 videos throughout the year, that's not a budget anyone has. Well, they might, but they didn't use it. So the point is, they did a lot of pedals, and some of them are just massively standout pedals. Some of them are good, But some of them are pedals that we all waited for and we needed, like the Galaxy. That's a tape echo like the RE201, and it's got amazing tape echo simulation and spring reverb, and it's just the kind of pedal that you have and you keep. I'm keeping it, I'm having it. I compared it to the real deal tape echo, and it's fantastic. So that's something. It's $2.99 now. I'll link below. Check out the video if you're into tape echo. That's the one to get. Now I did a video where I'm looking at a transistor amp from Blackstar, not expensive, and I'm looking at an inexpensive guitar from Ibanez, not the greatest guitar. That's the whole point. And I'm looking at a mic for $40, and I'm looking at an audio interface for 100 and something. So altogether, we're looking at 600 and something bucks. And what that video shows you is that no matter how low your budget is, you can make music. You can actually make music at a lower budget. Get yourself $170 Harley Benton and a free software. You could. And then you're way under $670. So this was a setup with an actual amp and a mic, going old school. You know, not even tube. Amp, mic, record, go. And what that video shows you is that if you got decent songs, you can make music. And now what that video also shows you is each of the 3 tracks start with just solo guitar. So just the rhythm or whatever in clean, kind of overdriven and then metal. And it sounds pretty shit. When the guitar starts by itself, you can totally tell that it is a cheap setup. You can tell that it's a thin, wiry beginner guitar sound. You can tell that it's not the big mesa rig and all that stuff. But once the rest of the band and the vocals come in, you forget about it. That is the lesson to be learned from that video. Once the music starts, your gear and even your sounds don't matter. What that matters is production, the mix, and most of all, the song. The song matters. Watch this video, look at the clips, you're gonna say every time, oh, it's not the greatest guitar sound. And then the band kicks in, nobody gives a shit anymore. Then it's just about the music. And that's really a lesson to be learned from that video. Back to the island. We did a crazy thing where we put Carlos Asensio on a pontoon with a PodGo wireless and checked, how much of that sound arrives at the beach. Pointless, stupid video, but just seeing Carlos having a blast on that pontoon, rocking out, and then when Andy and Ryan pick him back up, he's just like, I'm a rock star, fuck you guys. His head just exploded, and he's just like having the most fun playing guitar in a silly environment.
I'm a rock star!
He's a rock star!
He is a
Rockefeller rock star! He is a rock star, says Carlos.
Fuck you!
Fuck you too, Carlos!
Fuck you too, Carlos!
Fuck you too!
That fun should be contagious. Carlos is a maniac. Take some of that manatee, and absorb it. That's what that video is about. Having fun making music.
Yes, Andy.
What do you think of the spitty fuzz quality from the Line 6 PodGo on the pontoon?
The spitty fuzz was a revelation.
Back to a review. Revv released the D25 combo. Not much to it. There's a clean channel and a slightly boosted channel. It is the Revv pedal platform combo. This time with a little bit more oomph because it's got 25 watts and a built-in reverb. And I said in my video, I think it is a bit overpriced. And it was. It clocked in at 2,200 euro. And I'm gonna say for a 112 combo with 25 watts and really a pedal platform, and it's a brilliant pedal platform, and you can get it in custom colors and all that stuff. But I felt it was overpriced. And that was because of some distribution channels. And now I put the link below and I found out, it's 1,850 or 1,899 or something like that. It came down under 2 grand, and now it's still not massively affordable, but for what you're getting, that's a fair price. So if you're into pedals and you're looking for a very movable, lightweight, smaller amp that can absolutely do the job, the Revv D25 should be on your list to check out. Gonna go into sadness mode again. My friend Lance Milton, and you know him as Mike, China Mike from CGS, China Guitar Skeptic, died earlier this year, and it hit us all very hard. I made a video about it, which blew up for some reason, I don't know. I was just talking about my friend very honestly, and he's still missed. We think about him all the time. His family posts on Facebook daily and old memories of him. He will never be forgotten.
What a idiot!
We start again.
No! I'll have to bleep that one out.
He was an amazing person. He died of MND way too fast. And then we went to his funeral and made one last video in his studio with Lee and Jake and Adam Steele. Michiel was there too. It was tough, but it had to be done to say goodbye to one of the greatest people you'll ever meet. So there's these 2 videos. If you want to watch them, I'm linking below. Then we released our songwriting course, Rafael Cano and I. And now that you're thinking about it, look at that year. We went to an island, okay. And then, then we went to Japan. Where's the Japan thing? Oh, that's coming. Right after that, Glenn and Carlos and I, and Glenn's friend Jamie, we went to Japan and traveled around with our friend Jason McNamara. And did a week of Japan and saw Mount Fuji in guitar stores and old Japanese things. And that happened too. And you look at all the stuff that happened, and then in the same year, Rafa and I were releasing a 52-hour songwriting course that we worked on for a year straight. And it's not just the 52-hour songwriting course, it's the marketing you got to do for it, and all the little clips and the Insta clips, and getting affiliate advertisers making videos about it. I worked continuously for a month trying to advertise that course. That happened too. I don't even know when we did it, but we did it. And it's the course you should get if you're into songwriting, or you want to learn about songwriting, or your songwriting, or your lyrics, or your form, or your chords, or your progressions. Anything needs to be improved. It's all in there.
Me. Tomorrow's come in along for me.
My way, I left the path I went astray.
I think it is the course to get if you want to take the next step in songwriting, and obviously I'm linking below because it's our course. Also, Rafael started his Let's Talk Song channel with brilliant covers and analyses of songs, which you should subscribe to because it is amazing. Let's Talk Song from Rafael Cano. Subscribe to that channel. It's not gonna hurt you. Trust me. Next, the Shabat Puma arrived. Everyone looked at it at NAMM already, and I couldn't be at NAMM. I'm going to be at NAMM in a few weeks here. Next adventure. And Avi Shabat sent that to me. It's my third Shabat, and it is such a mind-blowing guitar. I couldn't put it down. I made 2 videos about it, one when it arrived and one after playing it for quite a while. Not cheap, I get it. But if you want a masterpiece of a guitar, look at Shabat. Videos are linked below. Origin Effect started working with me again for one video, which is fine. We had a rocky start a few years ago, but they sent me their DCX Boost, which is a 610 preamp, and a Pultec as a pedal, but meant as drives. So using studio gear as a basis and turning it into bastardized guitar overdrives. Super brilliantly made, super high end, and fantastic tones. That really stuck with me because everything these pedals did sounded brilliant. Next on, we're to the Morley Humno. I talked to Morley about the Hum Eliminator and stuff like this, and then they said, well, we're doing this Hum X or Hum Killer or whatever, and I said, just don't do the monster truck model, Hum X or Hum Killer. Don't do that. Come up with a cool name. Do the Apple kind of an approach. And then we talked, and I suggested Humno and made a logo for it, which is now the logo on the Humno, and they used my name. So we worked on packaging, and I said, do environmentally friendly recycled cardboard packaging. And you know what they did? They did that. What a great experience with a company that for some reason listens to a stupid YouTube guy and takes the name and the logo and does the packaging. And it's a brilliant product that you just put between your normal power IEC cable and your amp or interface or speaker, anywhere where you have a grounds hum. And there is a chance that you can eliminate hum with that. And if that doesn't fix it, then the Hum Eliminator fixes it. So these two should be products that you have in your arsenal. Sadly, I have to say, I was hoping that the Humno comes in at $99, which is still kind of up there for a cable with a little box in the middle. It is in Europe clocking in at $139. So that's a little bit steep. It is distribution channels and taxes and all that. I get it. But it is the thing you should have with you in your gig bag or tool bag when you go to a gig, because there might be hum and there is a good chance that it will kill it. I have 3 of them and I continuously use them whenever I have an issue, and chances are it'll fix it. Then I released the Japan vlog, just some impressions from our trip to Japan, which was absolutely magical with friends. What a great time. And Japan wasn't at all what I expected it to be. So if you want to check out that trip, go below and click on the link. Now that's a video that I made quite a while earlier, but Valiant said, hey Henning, if we were to make you a guitar, what would it be? And I said, well, all that I would want is, of course, beautiful turquoise with a matching headstock, a nice flame, and then I would like a wenge, or it turned out to be wenge, or a rosewood neck, and a maple fretboard. And so they made me a soothsayer and a Smith, both in that spec, and they're so beautiful. They have a humbucker and a P90, and they are massively amazing guitars that you can buy exactly like that from Valiant Guitars in Ukraine. So if you want to support a cool company, cool people, and get kick-ass guitars, you should well, check out Valiant, but also maybe get yourself the HP42 spec, because that's the best one. So there's a video about that, and of course, I'm linking below. Now, another big thing that happened this year, which turned out really well for them, is Vola went direct. They always had the biggest booth at NAMM, and they're talking to dealers, and a lot of stores didn't want to buy into the weird, pointy, original Vola shape. Because people buy Fender, people buy Gibson. Volas are amazing guitars, and they didn't really get into the stores because people are too conservative. The people that are not conservative were being punished because with store and distribution and all that stuff, the guitars were then clocking in at over $2,000. Now they went to a completely direct model. You can buy direct in Europe and in the US, and it usually includes shipping, free return, all that stuff. And that got the guitars super reduced in price, and then you can actually use my coupon code, which is Henning, I think. Look under my Vola videos, the coupon code's there, and then you can get another 5% off, and all of a sudden you're getting really stunning Vola guitars like the new TNC and any other one for a really affordable price. And now, bang for the buck, these made in Japan guitars are likely to kill anything in that price range. Of course, you're going to have to get your hands on them and experience for yourself, but I'm pretty sure anyone who has one will tell you the same thing. So check out the Vola videos about the TNC, use the coupon code that saves you money, and I get a kickback. All good. That's not why I'm saying that. They're good guitars. Back to Japan. The first independent YouTubers to ever record at Yamaha's Innovation Road. We only had 2 hours in there, and it was a big deal to even get in there. In Hamamatsu, in Japan, Carlos, Glenn, and I, we went there and made a fun video of just looking at the massive history of Yamaha, however you say that. We felt very honored, and it was a very special day. Video is linked below. So you can already tell there was the island and the songwriting course. What an eventful year. I mean, Lance died. Bad event. Fuck it. And you know, I mentioned Japan. And then we went to Sweetwater's Gearfest, Carlos and I. Met with all of our friends. I mean, whether it's, I don't know, Red Shawl, Robert Baker, Perfecto, Glenn. We met Landon Bailey, who we didn't know, and now he's a good friend, and we work together and talk almost daily with the Bailey. Landon. So what a great week that was. And I made a couple of videos there. One where, I mean, they had a huge martial wall with like 7 heads and stuff, and everyone was just supposed to go and crank it up and do the Eddie thing. And I'm an old fart. I didn't want to do that. I checked how quiet the big martial wall can get. And when you turn down 7 marshals, it sounds really bad. Check out that video. Next notable video is very simple. The Walrus Audio Sloer. They had the slow, then the Sloer with presets, and now the big one with 2 switches, more presets, more modes, the Sloer. And that is probably one of the best ambient, or the best ambient reverb you can get. Once you start playing that and you just want to drift away, you don't need drugs, get the Sloer, you're done. Very notable pedal of this year. Last year. That year, 2023. Nerdy and maybe not for your guitar players, but something that really stuck out to me as the next step in how I work efficiently and professionally was the Sennheiser EWD Portable. Sennheiser has the XSW, the little lav mics, and they're good, not super cheap, but at $350 you get a nice system. But with built-in batteries, if it's dead, you have to charge it. Not great, but it's a good system. Now, then there's the AVX, which I like using. Then there's the EWD. But that's rack-mounted things, and you can't really put that in your pocket or put it on the camera. Now they took the EWD system and put it in a small box, mountable to a camera, stackable with magnets. The sound is quite a step up from the AVX. I don't know how they did it, but it is. And that's a professional system with long battery life that you can tack onto cameras. And I have a few of them now, and I'm super happy about it. If you're a serious content creator, the EWD Portable, I think for me this year was a game changer with lav mics and wireless mics for on-the-go reporting. Doesn't interest you, but for me, that really stuck out. Back to Sweetwater's Gearfest. The PRS released the NF53, their telly. Okay? I asked Paul a couple of things about it. Then, of course, anytime you ask Paul Reed Smith something and you critique a little bit, he's saying, why is it this? Why this? He freaks out and he wants to yell at you. Not the easiest person to talk to when it comes to, let's just talk about your product and why is it this price and why did you do this? He's difficult. It's a good guitar. It's a good tool. No question about it. And in the US, it clocks in at like $2,700 for a guitar in a gig bag with a 3-piece body. What is he would go like, well, but what's the problem with a 3-piece body? All I'm saying is other companies at that price point don't do a 3-piece body. You know? He explained to me why, but not very diplomatically. It's got a scarf joint on the neck. And then he'll ask you, well, what's the problem? Well, I see scarf joints on guitars for like $300 or maybe Ibanez for $800. But scarf joint tells me they're trying to save money. Unless he's actually telling me that's about something else. Which I don't know if I'm supposed to believe that. But at $2,700, I don't want to see a scarf joint. All his other guitars have locking tuners. This one doesn't. Why? And it's got a 3-piece body. Now, as a tool, it's a great guitar. It is beautifully playable. It is light for a Swamp Ash body. He uses the light pieces. That's why he's using 3-piece. But $2,800 in a gig bag? You're telling me you're saving money. You're telling me you're saving money with a 3-piece body and a scarf joint and no locking tuners. That's a choice. That's not money saving. And a gig bag? Okay. I could let it slide at that price point. And then in Germany, it hit $3,700. Now we're in pretty fucking boutique territory, okay? And at $3,700, I do not want to hear about 3-piece bodies and scarf joints and a gig bag. The Harley Benton 25th anniversary editions all come in a gig bag. I just got one. And that gig bag is better than the PRS gig bag, which I saw at Gearfest. It's better. The Harley Benton gig bag at $300 is better than the PRS gig bag for a guitar that in Germany costs $3,700. Now, I just looked at it. They reduced the price. It clocks in at $3,499. That's still $3,500 for a guitar that comes in not a mono gig bag, not the king of all gig bags, I guess that'll do gig bag with a 3-piece body and a scarf joint. And again, as a tool, great guitar. But when you compare it to the competition on the market, what you can get built from a smaller builder, what you can get from, so many, whether it's Ibanez or PJD or even, for that money, you can get a custom build from a pretty high-end place. I don't know. Really, PRS? €3,500? And they don't like me much because I say these things, but at Gearfest, Revv showed their AI pedal. They just designed a pedal together with ChatGPT called the Chat Breaker, and it's good. Clocked in at $230 for a simple overdrive. I was a little bit much. Now it's $199, and really honestly, that thing just is good. Period. Chat Breaker from Revv does the job. $199, totally fine. The $30 lower made me a convict. No, a convinced, convert. That's the word. So after that thing in the US at Sweetwater, thank you Sweetwater for inviting us, we did Gear Street again for the 5th time. And what an amazing Gear Street it was. But we didn't do Gear Street and then did the new studio. We actually bought the house next door. And yeah, what a year. Went to an island, went to Japan, released the course, freaking Lance died, went to England, to a funeral. Again, not a positive event, but it happened. Did more videos. Sweetwater Gearfest for a week with Carlos. Bought a house, renovated it. Thank you, Valeria, for helping with all that stuff. Thank you, Michiel, for helping with all that stuff. And then put a whole studio in it. And it was finished right before Gear Street 5. And then we had 3 massively cool, high-end studios pumping out videos, again, for 4 days. Thanks to everyone, all the channels and all the brands that came to Gear Street. Now, the fact is, Gear Street is not beneficial to me in terms of getting more jobs. I'm honest. I do walk away with some cash because I charge companies to be here. As I have to, because I put in all these studios and all that stuff, and catering and all these things. Bottom line is, I get less jobs after Gear Street because all these companies get introduced to all my friends who might have a better deal, their videos get more clicks, who knows, and then I end up with less jobs. So technically, for my own sake, I should stop doing it. But here's why I don't. Stroopwafels. This means the world to me. These stroopwafels, I got a whole box of them. They're a Dutch delicacy. Were sent to me by Mendel Beideley. Now, Mendel is a beautiful human being. He's an amazing guitar player, great producer, great composer. And he sent them to me and said thank you for inviting him to Gear Street and introducing him to companies. And even after Gear Street, when people write to me saying, hey, can you open a door with this brand? I'm like, of course, I write an email immediately because that's what you do for your friends. And even though sometimes that means that I get less jobs, do I want to be the person that does this by themselves and doesn't have friends in this industry and doesn't support their friends? No. Now, there might be a few $1,000 I didn't make because companies went to other channels to work with them. But you know what I got? I got friends and I got fucking stroopwafels. And sometimes it's not about the money. Sometimes it's about the stroopwafels. Sometimes it's about the friendships. Sometimes it's about doing nice things for your friends who then do nice things for you, like stroopwafels. So that's why I do it, and that's why I will continue to do it. There are the vlogs from Gear Street. Nobody watches these, but really fun stuff that Tonio cut together. And it really kind of shows you what the event's all about. It's about friendships and just silliness and making some great videos. We usually do 150 videos a year. You can, of course, catch them with hashtag 42GS5 or 42GS1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all written out. And then you can watch all the content from all the Gear Streets. And there's some really fun stuff there. Yes. And before that, of course, we had to completely renovate the house. And we did that as well. And Leslie got a slip disc and then it was out for 6 weeks and was in the hospital. What a year it's been! So there's a big video about the whole renovation and what we did. And you should check that out because it's fun. Yes, we did that as... What a year! Yeah, building Sigrid. Then Jonas Mene from STS Guitars built me a stunning Okita, his semi-hollow sustainable guitar creation. Not super affordable, but handmade in Germany. And what an amazing guitar. My friend Tonio did videos with him, Perfecto did videos with him, and they all are absolutely convinced of the quality that Jonas provides. They're very good guitars. Avi Shabat apparently really liked them as well. So check out the STS Okita video, and that guitar, of course, shows up in numerous videos after that. Back to what we did in the house. I have built these types of studio desks ever since I can remember, because it's much more customized than anything else you can get from a store, and it's going to be more tailored to your room and your needs. So I'm going to show you how I built the diagonal studio desks in Studio C. So if you're a little bit handy and you like building things, that's the cheapest way to get a professional desk made to your specs. So check out that video. It was fun. And of course, that is linked below. Moving on, oh my god, how long have I been sitting here? Next, very simple, Tone King Royalist. It's right up there. What a great amp. It's now replaced my Tone King Sky King as my pedal platform. That thing is all the classic Marshalls. Beautiful amp, brilliant amp. Check out that video. That definitely stood out as one of the highlights. We're gonna get more into gear. Heritage H150 Gold Top. I'm not a Gold Top guy. It's my third Heritage, and even though I'm not a Gold Top guy, it's the one that I pick off the wall more than the others. It's a brilliant guitar, and there were some killer deals at Anderton's. I don't know if they're still there, probably not, but if you have a chance to grab one of those, that's the Les Paul to get. Then the Friedman IR-X hit. High voltage tube preamp, 2 channels with IR out and software control over that IR out, effects loop, great sounds, super popular pedal. Personally, the price tag of $595 in Germany for me is a little bit, it just feels a little bit on the too much side. At $499, I'd be celebrating the shit out of it. If you really want it, of course, $595 is not gonna be the deal breaker, but for what it is in comparable products and stuff like this, I really wish it was a little bit cheaper, but it delivers the Friedman sounds, and you can go direct into your audio interface with IRs, and they have great IRs in it. It's a good box. Now, something that kind of went under the radar, because I already mentioned UAFX released 14 pedals, and at some point they were just running out of steam in terms of marketing, and they were just like, oh, here's 4 new pedals, and then 3-4 weeks later, oh, by the way, we also have the Aux Stomp. No biggie. That is the pedal that should have broken in it. That's the pedal that should have broken in it. That's the pedal that should have broken the market. It's the frickin' Aux. One of the most popular DI solutions, just without the load box and attenuator. Now the Aux now clocks in at $1,500, which frankly is too expensive. It went up in price, and that's ridiculous. But take out the load box and the attenuator, which you can get from other companies like Tone King or whatever, or Frayette, in better for less. But on the digital side, including the compressor, delay, and reverb, yes, and stereo, ridiculous flexibility, you can get that for $430. So if you have a load box / attenuator, this is the thing to get before anything else. And even if you have something else in terms of IR loading, whatever, this isn't IR loading, it's speaker modeling. You can't even load IRs into it, which some people see as a negative. It's not. It's one of the big products for me this year. UA hit it out of the park with 2 things. The Aux Stomp absolutely should have gotten way more coverage than it did. It's brilliant. Then the story that broke a lot of these channels, my videos got like 220,000 and Andy's videos got 400,000 on it. This company wanted us to review like a plasticky kind of MIDI guitar to learn guitar with silicone strings on a fretboard. Not the greatest idea. I said, send it to me, I'll check it out. Maybe there's something redeemable. There wasn't. And it was so unredeemable that I actually had to make a video. But the moral of the story is the internet's very sad. You make a video that's trashing a product. You make a video that's honest about a product in a very negative way, saying, do not buy this, it's not good. And you make the video you always make. You make the video where you're honest about it. I say honest things about everything. I just told you that I think that PRS guitar is too expensive. I told you that the IR-X is brilliant, but I wish it was a little bit cheaper. I made honest videos about the amp series. I mean, about everything. Every video I do is fully honest, and I tell you exactly what I think about the product. But then you only get hailed as the honest guy when you completely trash something and say don't buy it. And then on all the other videos, you're being called a paid shill. That makes no sense. It makes no sense at all to be hailed as the hero of honesty when you trash something. What if I'm completely honest, and I am, about the positive things? Nobody says, oh, I love how honest you are. It's all positive. Apparently, honesty can only be negative. It can't. There are pros and cons to products, and I highlight all of them. But I only get praise when I bitch about stuff. It's pretty sad, right? It's pretty sad. That's what that video showed me. And Andy talked about that company wanting to sue channels. They never really wanted to. They were just super afraid that more channels would make the kind of video I made and the kind of video Kalen made. And then they said, well, you know, we would have to employ maybe, you know, our lawyers if you did this and this. It wasn't an actual threat, but it was dumb. And Andy had to make a video about that. That's what happened. So moving on. Links below if you really want to see that video. After years and years and years, Nik Huber built me a guitar. He's still building the big one. He's still building the Flipper Dolphin. But he built me a Krautster 3, which is called Heidi. And I finally have a Nik Huber. And if that other thing ever happens, I'll have two. So here's a video about Heidi. Full video, of course, linked below. Moving on to, for me, the product of the year. I know other companies don't want to hear that, but somebody's going to have to earn that. And for me, it's the UAFX Lion. Modeling is fun. Modeling can be convenient. Modeling can be a nice compromise. Convenience versus perfect sound. Convenience versus the real deal sound, right? A Helix has a million things in it. Most of it doesn't sound exactly like the real thing, but it's close enough that nobody cares. And that's usually modeling. A Quad Cortex is small, it's killer, it's got everything in it, nobody's ever going to tell the difference. But you'd rather play the real thing. UAFX and James Santiago released the Lion. It is a Marshall Super Lead, then a Marshall Super Bass, and then a modded Marshall like Eddie had. With boosts. Focuses on one single type of amp. It's got one preset. An app where you can set up certain things. The sounds are absolute perfection. And I actually feel that they're better than my mini Plexi or whatever. They are based on some of the best old Plexis that they could find. They didn't profile them or something. They component modeled it to bits. Find out what that means. Fact is that the Lion is, in clean with the Strat, one of the best amps, tube or modeling, that you've ever played. And cranked, one of the best amps you ever played. It's simply one of the best sounds you will ever play. And then you put a tube screamer in front of it, and the leads are there. It's, if you're doing rock and roll, it's all there for 450 or 430 bucks. It is the next step for me in modeling, not profiling, because you can actually dial everything in and it will react correctly. It's the next step in modeling in my book. It's groundbreaking, I think. Walrus Audio released a tuner. And I thought, who's going to give a crap about it? I gave a crap about it. It's right there on my little board. And it's an absolute brilliant, absolutely brilliant pedal. Best tuner I have. Orientation, pictures, needle mode, strobe mode. It's all there. And I absolutely love it. The Peterson Strober Stomp is still one of the best tuners out there. For me, the Canvas beats it. It beats it. There's much, but it beats it. Going back to amps. Blackstar HT Stage 100. 100 watt, 3 channels with 2 modes each. Direct out that works. Not a sound that it can't make. Clocking in at $1,000 for a real 100 watt tube amp with a huge flexibility of sounds, and from the Strat to the 7-string covers everything. If you're not going to spend $3,000 on an amp, you're not going to spend $2,000 on an amp, you're only going to spend $1,000 on an amp. That is the amp you should get, period. We're almost through. We got the Revv Dynamis D40. Now that can't do a lot, but it's an amazing pedal platform and kind of your channel 2 thicker edge of breakup-y thing. It is the pedal amp with a stereo Captor X style, 2 notes out. It's for the tone connoisseur, and I got it in the most amazing color with the 212. That is a dream setup if you're running pedal boards. So yeah, that's, I think, something that for me really stood out, especially in the color that they made it in for me. Next, many people missed it earlier in the year, but my friend Aaron English has an organization called the International Youth Music Project, where he supports music schools and orphanages in Kenya and Uganda. And together we collected a lot of gear and shipped over 5 or 6 full pallets. There was Stanford, Lewitt, Ibanez, Yamaha, and a whole bunch of other companies helping us. And so many people involved in this project. And I was also involved bigly in it. And then later in the year, we made a video showing that the instruments arrived, and the Kenyan ambassador to Germany, or the German ambassador to Kenya, showed up, and these kids are now making music with Ota Dario. Sent a whole bunch of strings for all these guitars, so the kids also have new strings. Seeing these kids play these guitars that we organized for them, and together with the Goethe Institute Central Africa, crazy. It's not a project that got a lot of attention, but that wasn't the idea. Getting kids instruments to change their lives, because down there, these instruments can change lives. It gets them off the street, gets them to make music and have a purpose. Great project, and thanks to all the companies that were involved. Yeah, we did that too. We did a lot this year. Moving on, TC 2290. I came down hard on it and critiqued it in certain ways, because I don't think it was shipped fully finished, with a couple of things that I didn't like. But it's a brilliant sounding pedal. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Now, if they made a manual and you could actually program it and understand what it does, that is one of the delays/modulation boxes to get. No question about it. One of the products this year, period. Soldano, after so long of a time, just SLO, came out with a new product, the Astro 20. It's up there, you can't see it. 20 watt Soldano with 3 channels, 4 different sound modes, IR out, amazing build quality, amazing. For not $4,000, no, $2,290 or something. Okay, for a 20 watt amp, that's maybe up there, but the sounds are there. You can record it DI, you can record it with your cab, you can record it with your aux or whatever, and just have all the possibilities out there. Beautiful sounding amp. It's a real Soldano in that quality that you're used to from them. If you wanted to get those sounds, that's the one to get. Something I wasn't super familiar is high watt with a color sound pedal in front of it. And then Crazy Tube Circuits did just that, giving you those Pinky Floydy sounds. I didn't quite know what those sounds were supposed to be, but with that pedal, I could actually coax them out of any amp I put it into, and that's what Crazy Tube Circuits is great at, getting those amp in a box with pedal combinations. They've got a Dumble with a Klon, and they've got a deluxe reverb with a Tube Screamer, all in one pedal, and they absolutely nail those sounds, no matter where you're sending the pedal, which is, I don't know how that works. But that high power, high watt and color sound combination, even though it's not my bag of tricks chips, it's not my thing, full on delivered beautiful tones. So if that's something you're looking for, Crazy Tube Circuits High Power is one of the pedals that really, really surprised me this year. Now back to a guitar. The pink nightmarish Roof Master Series, Schrödinger Master Series, fully made out of carbon, is a stunning instrument for under $2,000. And then they give all of you a coupon code for my channel, HP10, and that gets you 10% off. So you can get this with a Hiscox case and everything in a range of cool colors for like $1,800. And that is phenomenal. With the hip shot tuners and bridge and the Seymour Duncans, it's a brilliant guitar for the modern player. It's a shred-tastic instrument. Check out the video. And then very late in the year, Polly from Australia came up with the Verbs. Super cool idea. It's a mini computer that's running IR convolution reverbs, where you can't really do a lot with each of them. There's just a range of 50 something, I think 54 different spaces. And you'll be blown away how good they are. Everyone commented, oh my God, it sounds so good. Yes, because it sounds so good. Yes, the Poly Verbs isn't your cheapest reverb pedal, but your most unique and probably the most inspiring. Absolutely amazing. It makes you play and not fiddle with parameters. And we're gonna end this video with the Ibanez Iceman IC420 in blue. Not the kind of shape I would ever go for, but first playing, I was like, whoa, even dry, this resonates. Because it's a Les Paul in a different shape. But the whole set neck, double humbucker, everything says it's a Les Paul. It's actually a better Les Paul. It clocks in at $699, including a decent gig bag. And that, for what you're getting tonally and playability-wise, if the shape doesn't turn you off, is a stunning guitar. Now, Ibanez has new stuff coming out in 2024, and I already got to check it out. And those videos will hit in a few days, just like my video series on the Engel Special Edition Founders Edition, which is a behemoth of an amp. There'll be 4 videos on that. Then I'm going to go to NAMM. Right after NAMM, Carlos and Glenn and Alex and a bunch of my friends, we're going to be on the 70,000 tons of metal cruise, where we're going to do content and of course wear silly Mr. Google shirts. That's what we forgot to say. All through the year we wore silly shirts on the island. Silly shirts. We had a special shirt made. Yeah, silliness ensued. And on the cruise, I will not wear black. I'll wear unicorns and cats and whatever this shit is, because that's me. That's fun. So if you saw some of that stuff throughout the year, thank you. If you haven't, please watch it. Please use the links below. Use the links to Thomann, Sweetwater, and Andertons. That absolutely supports the channel. So in retrospect, made some videos, went to an island, went to Japan, came back, released a course, had to go to the funeral for a very good friend, came back, made more videos, went to Sweetwater for a week, made videos there, met many friends, made new friends, met Joe, who became a good friend, Joe Braga, watched Pedal Playhouse. Joe then came and worked on the team at Gear Street because she also won the Carl Martin contest. Lost another friend, Søren from Carl Martin, the head and boss of Carl Martin pedals. Suddenly died, forgot to say that, fuck that. Bought a house and renovated it just in time for Gear Street. Doing that whole thing, Leslie had a slip disc, was in the hospital. Did Gear Street, went to Toman for Cyber Week, made more videos, many more things came out, donated things to Africa. What a year it's been! Hopefully, you'll stay with me for more adventures. Nobody's made it this far in the video, but that's okay. Thank you for watching. Thanks to all the companies supporting me. Thanks to Toman, Sweetwater, and Andersons. Thanks to all my friends. Thanks to you, Michiel. Thanks to you, Carlos. Andy, blah, 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 all the people. Landon, who just wrote me again, had an AI write a song about me. Oh, AI was a big theme this year. Ibanez made a tube screamer pillow that you can't buy anymore. I mean, I could go on and on and on of this stuff that happened this year. But we're done now. We'll put the animals at the end.